Okay, so I thought I would start off with the smaller diamond paintings and then work my way up to the bigger ones. So we're in a different room on a different table, and eventually we will have the diamond paintings on the floor because the table just isn't big enough. So these ones, I'm sure people who've been watching the channel recently will recognise them. I bought them in a local mall. They were on a shelf outside the store, and they had a lot of diamond paintings that just suddenly appeared, which is very unusual. So you hardly ever see diamond paintings in Copenhagen anyway. So I saw these small ones, obviously aimed at kids, so I bought some, and I did them as time lapses. So some people may have seen them on Instagram as well, being done as time lapse. They're printed on card, they're not on canvas, so it's just thick, heavy duty card. They're all round drills, they're all partials, which means not all of the picture has drills on it. In the first one, the white background has no drills, so it's not sticky. The second one, the sky, and then the third one, this little piece of sky. This one obviously has more drills than the rest. They don't have names, they just come in little clear packs, no name on them. So I called this one Teacup Pup, and this one I called Polly the Pirate. This one I was going to call Dave the Dragon, but as I started to work on it I realised the dragon was pink, so I changed it to Davina the Dragon. And I have one more to do, which I'm calling Harriet the Hedgehog. And again, I'll be doing that as a time lapse, so you will probably see that on YouTube as a short, or Instagram at some point in the future, probably not too long. I think this one took about 2 hours, longer than I expected, but I do use tweezers in a single place, and I think I was doing a live at the same time, so I probably was talking a bit, so it took a bit longer than normal. So that's the first 3. So now we'll look at proper diamond paintings. As I said, I'm going to start with the smaller ones and work up to the big ones. So this one is from Homecraftology, and I bought it because I just wanted people to see what they can expect in a small diamond painting. So this is 20 by 20 and it is round drills. Looks okay. The further back you go, the better it looks. It's just it starts to blend in better. But what I did was I ordered square as well. So it was so people could see a direct comparison. So these are 20 by 20, they're both the same size. It's just I've trimmed some of the border off this one to put it on a magnetic frame. Haven't touched this one yet. So it was to let people see a direct comparison, same size, 20 by 20 from the same company, Homecraftology. There was a difference in the drills, the number of colours. There were more colours in the square one as well, which helps to blend the colours in. So there you can see a direct comparison, same picture, round, square. Then I decided to try the same picture, or as close as I could get, from a different company, and I couldn't find exactly the same, but I found one on Amazon, which is 30 by 30. Now the normal thinking is the bigger you go, the better they get, the more detail that you get, but this sort of disproves that. So this is a 30 by 30 from Amazon in round, and this is a 20 by 20 from Homecraftology in round. You can see that the detail is much better on this one. It doesn't just come down to the size of the canvas, it also comes down to the rendering. This one looks more like it's made with wool or something. It's long strips. The Homecraftology one is much better rendering. So it's always worth remembering, even though it's bigger, depending where you get it. It depends on how good the rendering is. There's not really any comparison. And then if we switch to square, that's slightly more detailed again, and again it's a smaller picture. So bigger isn't always best. It depends on the rendering as well as the size. So that was the reason that I bought these. I tend to think of things to do to maybe help people who are new to diamond painting, and try and give them little tips and things to look for, things to avoid, and following the same sort of theme. This again from Homecraftology. I deliberately bought the smallest size that I could get, and this is a 20 by 25. Much later on in the video you will see the large version of this. I'll put this one to the side so you can sort of see them side by side, and I can talk about how we've totally lost definition in most of this picture. When you look at it, you can probably see two cockerels, maybe a chick. It's really hard to see. So again, I was doing this one just to let people see, if you go for the small size, okay, it's the cheapest, but it might not be that clear. It might be okay if you're totally new and you just want to practice diamond painting and you're just looking for a cheap diamond painting to work on. Once you put this up on the wall, you look at it, you think, okay, it's a fence with two chickens, some flowers, and that's okay. Not everybody's looking for great big paintings or a piece of art, so that might be okay. This is squares as well, it's not round, so slightly more definition because it's square. So that was Homecraftology 20 by 25. The next one is just one that was a bit different. Again, these are all small, but it gives people an idea of what they can expect. So this one is called Classical Bathtub, and this came from Onedaysaving. It's a 30 by 30 in rounds. I just quite like the style, like the colours, looks okay. Still to be trimmed off. I use magnetic frames, so I trim the sides off completely, and I put the magnetic frame along the bottom, use a pen to mark it, and then trim it so the canvas is behind the magnetic frame, top and bottom. I have done videos about magnetic frames, if you're curious to what they are. If you just on the channel, if you just type in magnetic frame, I've actually got a video where I prepare a diamond painting for a magnetic frame. I've also got an unboxing of magnetic frames to show you what you get and that sort of thing. So that is Classical Bathtub from Onedaysaving. I don't know if I mentioned the company there. The next one is an abstract, and again, this is from Onedaysaving. This one is 40 by 30, so it's 40 centimeters across, 30 centimeters down. It is round drills, but again, you can see I've trimmed this. I have had this hanging up. The definition isn't too bad. Again, if you step back further, it looks better. The closer you get to them, the harder it is to make out what things are. So this one looks fine, just something a little bit different. So that one's I just called that one abstract. I don't think it actually had a name. You find that a lot with Onedaysaving and the budget companies. All it says is diamond painting. It doesn't actually have a name, so sometimes you have just to make them up. So the next one does have a name, I think I got the name from them. It's called Marine Turtle, but again it says diamond painting, but I think maybe on the website it said Marine Turtle, or maybe I just made the title up. I can't remember, it's been a while. So this is a 40 by 30, so 40 across, 30 down, round again. I think it looks absolutely fine. Again, if it's hanging up, it does look really good. I like brightly coloured diamond paintings, so when I saw this one, it didn't have any turtles, so I thought, yeah, I like that. The advantage of rounds and the smaller sizes is they don't take too long. So if you're new to diamond painting, or you don't have a long attention span for the larger pictures, or you simply don't have the space to work on a large canvas, it gives you an idea what you can get if you're selective. The reason that this works so well is because it's big blocks of colour, and that always works well. You can go down to pretty small and they still work. So that's a nice one. I like that. I like working on it. Didn't take too long. Nice bright one. Again, I've had it hanging up. What I tend to do is I swap them around. I'll hang one up for a while and then take it down and swap it over. So that's why the sides are trimmed off and the magnetic frame covers the top and bottom. So yeah, I like that one. This next one is a bit different because it's a partial. Try and get the whole thing in. So this one, the background, the purple background, has no glue, no drills, and it's a partial with special drills. So instead of just being round or square, they are different. You start getting these sort of fancy ones where they're like gems. These ones are like pearls, different shapes. These ones are sort of green, blue, purple, depending how you tilt them. Again, nice. It looks sort of 3D because they've printed a shadow. Again, this has been hanging up. You can see I've trimmed the sides off, and the bottom and the top are ready for the magnetic frame. So that was something a bit different. And this one was just called Leaves. That was it. So and it came from One Day Saving as well. It's a 30 by 40, so 30 centimeters across, 40 centimeters down. Maybe it looks a bit longer than that because of the angle of the camera, but it's a 30 by 40. So this is one that I liked as well. This one is square drills for this one, and it's called Sun and Moon, and this is from New Craft Day, and it's a 30 by 30. So a bit of practice if you single place and you want to practice doing the checkerboard technique. A lot of white in the outside, so you can get a bit of practice doing your checkerboard and getting your drills straight. But just a little bit different. I like the colours on it, didn't have anything like it, so that's why I got this one. And then this one, also from New Craft Day, and it's called Goldfish Surprise. This one was a bit more detailed, and I was curious to see how well it worked in such a small size, 30 by 30, so it's actually like a square picture. It's square drills which help to sort of give it a little bit of definition, but again, from a distance it looks fine. The main thing that you see is the goldfish and the different colours of yellow and gold. It works pretty well. The background, if you look at it, doesn't really have a lot of detail, but you get the impression that there's weeds and things in the background. If it had been bigger, there would be more detail, but because the goldfish is the main subject and it takes up most of the picture, you tend to look at the goldfish and you're not really paying a lot of attention. But once you start looking, you can see there isn't really much detail here at all. But it doesn't really matter because the goldfish is the thing that catches people's eye. So that was quite a nice little one as well. This next one is called Cartoon Cow. It's obviously a zebra, but something got lost in translation, and this one is called Cartoon Cow. They even have the name at the top. 25 by 30, 25 across, 30 down, and this came from smithsbeads.co.uk in England. Talking about checkerboard, I did this using tweezers, or maybe a pen back then. I now use tweezers all the time. It might have been a pen, but you can see how much white there is in this. So massive areas of checkerboard. Again, good practice if you're wanting to get used to using checkerboard to help straighten your drills up. Again, a little fun one, obviously aimed mainly for kids or for a kid's bedroom. Just fun little picture. So that's cartoon cow. So this is one I liked. As soon as I saw it, I really liked it. It's so basic. Just the wood painted in the background with the heart and then the sunflower. Very, very simple idea, but I think it works very well. You even get the shadow. Oops, bumped the thing. You can get the shadow behind the flower, which helps make it look a bit 3D. Looks really nice. I really like this one. Just the combination of colours I think works really, really well. And this is called Heart and Flower. Again, I don't know if I made that name up. And it's from onedaysaving.com, and it is a 30 by 30. So really nice one to brighten up a room. I like that a lot. So this one is just called Leopard. Now I'm thinking I probably didn't name that one because I would call it Snow Leopard, but maybe I called it Leopard, maybe they called it Leopard, I can't remember. So again, this is from One Day Saving, and it's a 40 by 30, so 40 centimetres across, 30 centimetres down, and it's square drills. So again, you can see I have had this hanging up. I rotate all these quite often just to get something different to look at in the room. So yeah, so that is a Leopard. Now this one, this is the first one that I put up in a magnetic frame because I wanted to see how much dust built up, because when I started people kept writing that once you finish your diamond painting you should put it in a frame behind glass or perspex to stop dust building up on the drills and to stop any drills falling off, which makes total sense. But when I started, I framed all of my diamond paintings at the beginning behind glass or perspex, and the thing that I noticed was you see reflections. If it's during the daytime and there's a window, you can see the window, you can't see the diamond painting, you just see the rectangle of white where the window is. You also see yourself, it acts like a mirror, so if you're trying to take pictures of a diamond painting that has glass or perspex, it's really difficult to get you and your phone out of the picture. You might stand to the side, but you'll still see the phone in your hand. That really drove me nuts. I want to see the diamond painting anywhere in the room. I don't want to be thinking I have to put it here because these windows are going to reflect it. I mean, we've got 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 windows in this room. So finding a spot that doesn't reflect that is a nightmare. And you might end up putting it somewhere where you don't really want it, but you want to be able to see the picture. So I thought, right, okay, I'm going to try one of these magnetic frames. I'm going to hang it up and see how it goes. So this is the one that I did, and it's round drills, so even more space for dust to collect and dust to stick to the glue. This was hanging up for at least 3 months, and it was still as shiny as ever. I don't think under artificial light you'll really see how much these drills sparkle. No, it just kills it. But in daylight, sunlight, this is a very, very sparkly diamond painting, and it still is. And now it's been without any glass or cover for, I don't know, probably over a year. And I can't see dust. I'm not saying there's no dust in it, but it doesn't affect the sparkle. So ever since I did this one and left it for a while, I thought, I'm not going to use glass anymore. So basically now I don't use glass at all. I use magnetic frames. If I use them on large diamond paintings, I staple the canvas to the magnetic frame, because magnetic frames are only really designed to hold posters, like paper, and once you start doing the larger diamond paintings, there is quite a bit of weight in them, and the magnets are just not strong enough. And I have had one that fell out. It was hanging for a few months, everything was fine, and then one evening I just heard a noise from the diamond painting room, and it was the diamond painting sliding down the wall. Now, it had been hanging up for quite a long time. It is a big one. Luckily, the way it sort of crumpled, only 9 drills came off, so I fixed that, and then I got a staple gun and I stapled the canvas to the frame, and it's hanging back up. It's actually the hoverfly that you'll see in most of the unboxing unbaggings. It's a custom that I did of a hoverfly. I took a picture in the botanical gardens in Copenhagen, and I was taking a picture of a flower, a close-up of a flower, and the hoverfly landed just as I took the picture. So I kept the picture. I had it for 4 years, I think, and then I suddenly thought, I'm going to do that as a diamond painting. So I changed it, I tweaked it. I didn't want it just a picture, I wanted to change it a bit. So you'll see it in the background in the videos. That's the one that fell. So now it's stapled along the top to the back piece of the magnetic frame, and then the front piece is put on because the magnets still stick, so it just covers up these borders, but it won't fall again, so I won't make that mistake again. If there's any weight in them, I would recommend stapling them or gluing them. I prefer stapling them. I don't trust glue, so because over time I don't know if the glue would start to dry out and crack or anything like that, so I don't want to take the chance. So I called this one Cow Couple. I got it on Amazon, but you can see the company name, Parnazar is the company. When you buy on Amazon, you're not buying from Amazon, you're buying from all these little companies. It's a bit like AliExpress. You're not buying from AliExpress, you're buying from all these little stores on AliExpress. So when you buy from Amazon, your diamond paintings are coming from different companies. They're not Amazon diamond paintings. So I really liked this. It was just a cute one. Again, a lot of colour. I just like colour. Just a funny one, the cows sticking their tongues out, and I thought, yeah, I like that. So, but the main thing was to see how it went with the magnetic frame and the dust, and that's why I went for round, because dust will build up more on round if it's going to build up, because you've got all these gaps that are pretty big, and the glue is there. So I mean, I've had a pretty good look at this, and I mean, I haven't tried to dust it or anything. I haven't done anything to it, and I mean, it looks fine to me. As I said, in sunlight it's very sparkly, but because I'm using artificial light, it just doesn't, I can't even get it to sparkle, which is weird because I know it is sparkly. But yeah, I like that one. Talking about liking one and not liking one, this one I bought as my first and only mystery diamond painting, and I hate it. It was bought as a mystery. You can see, even though I've trimmed it, it's just a question mark where the thumbnail should be. When I was working on it, it took me a little bit of time to figure out what it was. I wasn't sure if it was meant to be that way or that way. I decided it's this way because this is the sea, and we've got trees, we've got a sunset, I think. And that was from Diamond Painting Factory. Now, as far as I can remember, this one was a company that advertise, I'm pretty sure it is, but they advertise free diamond paintings. So this was a free diamond painting, but you have to pay shipping. And by the time you pay shipping, you're basically paying what you would pay anyway. So it okay, it's a free diamond painting, but you pay shipping, so it's not totally free. Yeah, this was just, I think mystery diamond paintings would just be becoming to be a thing, and I thought, oh, that's quite a cool idea, work on a picture and you don't know what it is. I never really thought about it too much until I was getting into this, and I was like, I really don't like this. But I just kept going to see what it was and let people see. So this is square, and it is a 30 by 40, so 30 wide, 40 down. This is my absolutely least favourite diamond painting. I did hang it up, as you can see. I've trimmed it. I hung it up to see if it looked okay from a distance. It does look okay from a distance if you are in another room and you close the door. I really don't like it, but I keep it because it might come in handy at some point if I'm talking about the perils of mystery diamond paintings, because you can end up with a diamond painting that you would never in a million years buy, and you're stuck with it, and the worst thing is you pay for it. So yeah, that's the mystery. That is my absolutely least favourite diamond painting. I think if I had been introduced to diamond painting and did this as my first diamond painting, I wouldn't have continued. So now we move on to slightly bigger. I like this one. So this one, again, I don't think I had a name, and I just called it Cute Snowman. It's an image you'll see a lot, but I still think it looks really nice. This is round drills, surprisingly. Detail came out much better than I expected. It's a 45 by 25, so 45 wide, it's only 25 high, but they still managed to get a reasonable amount of detail. You get the shadows on the snowmen, the facial expressions, the shadows on the hats, you get the markings in the fence. The snow is a bit bland, but it works very well. So I'm trying to remember where I got that one from. Oh yeah, this was another Amazon one, but I didn't write down the actual store. So I think I was just on Amazon and I searched diamond painting and just browsed, and then I saw these snowmen. It was probably about October, and I thought, yeah, I can do this and we can hang it up for Christmas. As you can see, we've never hung it up yet. Not that I don't like it, I do, just never got around to trimming it and hanging it up for Christmas time. So maybe Christmas this year. But yeah, a nice one, I like it. So trying to figure out now what size I can get here, and I think I'm going to have to change the camera. I'm going to have to move the camera up so we can get the whole thing in. So I'll be back. Okay, so camera moved up a bit to try and get the whole thing in. This one was a surprise for me. I was shopping in our very local little supermarket, and in their bargain bins they had 2 diamond paintings. Now, I had never seen a diamond painting in any store in Copenhagen at that time, and I have never seen any in that store since. So how they ended up there, I have no idea. There were 2, there was this one, and there was one of 2 swans facing each other with their necks bowed, so it looked like a heart. Didn't really appeal to me. This one I thought, that's quite cool. So I bought it, as I said, with all of them. I think there is an unboxing of this one, and I can remember when I opened it, the smell from it, the chemical smell was really strong. So this is a partial. Again, the white background has no drills on it. It's just the sort of the main centerpiece. Some of the colour is actually printed, these little splashes of green and up at the top. They aren't drills, it's just printed. The little splash here of yellow is printed. The pink up at the top there is printed. the rest of it is drills. It is round drills, and I'm pretty sure they have no DMC codes, so you don't know exactly what the colours are. It feels like plastic. It's not normal diamond painting canvas. So I don't know if it was this that the smell came from. I don't smell it now, but it was a long time ago. Or if it was the glue, or a combination of both, but it had a very strong chemical smell. But it turned out okay. Again, you can see when I work, I cut out the key and I put a cover minder on it to give it a bit of weight, and I move it around as I work. So the thing about doing that is, if you're doing it with the normal canvas, the canvas won't stick to the glue. So if you accidentally drop it onto the glue, it doesn't stick like paper would. So I got into that habit a long time ago. When I work in sections, and everything's covered except that one section I'm working on. So I move the key around a lot on the desk, and I like the fact that it's only that size of that key. It's just a little strip. It's not an A4 sheet of paper that's always got a chance of touching the glue accidentally. Plus it takes up a lot of space to sit in A4. Even when you fold it, it seems to be bulky and it wants to pop up. But I just don't put paper near. My wife had an accident with paper a while back. She was diamond painting. She had an A4 sheet with the key on it, well away from the glue, and she was working away. It was the summertime, we had the window open, a sudden gust of wind blew in, the A4 sheet flipped over and landed on the diamond painting and stuck. So that was a little panic attack when that happened, because we'd never had to deal with that problem before, but we've since fixed it. But now my wife does the same thing. She cuts the key or gets the A4 sheet and folds it over and then puts the cover minder on it as well, and that stops it accidentally getting blown by the wind or knocked by your elbow or whatever. So yeah, that's the story about that. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. Definitely not the best, but I mean, I think it looks okay. Just needs to be trimmed up with magnetic frames. It'll look fine. As I said, it's more a plastic than a canvas, but it looks okay. So that was from Netto, if anybody is living in Denmark. Good luck finding one though. As I said, that was just a one-off. The next one is another partial with special drills again. I think I'm just going to get those in. This one is called Dreamcatcher Owl, and I think I maybe named that. So again, partial, a lot of it is just printed, doesn't have any glue, doesn't have any drills. But this one, again, the light just kills it. If it was in sunlight, this would be extremely shiny. I think you can maybe see a tiny bit of movement there. But the drills are really like gems. They reflect sunlight very, very well. It looks really nice. This canvas is a bit weird as well. It's got that sort of plasticky feel. It looks okay. I got it because I thought, oh, that's a bit different. And it was special drills. I think this was the first time I ever used special drills. So I was curious. So I got this one. It looks fine. This was from Craftology Art, and it is 40 by 50, so well, you can see up the top. 40 across, 50 down. Again, needs to be trimmed up to be hung, like most of them. But yeah, not too bad, a little bit different. This next one just fits as well. I think it may be time to move to the floor, but it does fit, so we'll stay with this. So this one is just called Snake. and it's from Wish. I have had experience with Wish before and it wasn't a good one. I saw this, it appealed to me because I used to keep and breed snakes, believe it or not. So this reminded me of the Cinnalone milk snakes that I kept. So I bought this. Was a bit dubious about it. It was double-sided adhesive. I'm sure there were air bubbles. It's been so long I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can still see marks, so it definitely had air bubbles. But I cut them, but I can still see. It's one of these things. Depending how the light hits at certain angles, it can look fine, and then suddenly you start to see these lines, depending which angle the light is shining from. But it turned out a lot better than I expected. I quite like the background, how it sort of goes into mist and fog in the background. The snake actually looks pretty cool, the markings, and yeah, I like it. I know snakes aren't everybody's thing, but I think it's the only snake diamond painting I've got. So this was another wonder from Wish. I don't buy from Wish very often because, in fact, I think I've only got these two. The first one I got was it was the worst one I've had to actually work. It was covered in air bubbles, double-sided adhesive. Took me a long time to slice all the bubbles, and when I got around to actually trying to diamond paint, the print quality was so bad. It was really hard to read the symbols. It took me a long time because I was trying to do it as good as I could, and it actually turned out fine, but it took so much effort to do that one. But it's framed in a frame with glass. As I said originally, that's what I did. I was putting everything behind glass because I didn't want dust on it and I didn't want drills falling off. Since then I've sort of changed the way that I think about that. So I think it's time to move on to the big boys. So not exactly one of the big boys, but getting there. And if you were paying attention at the beginning of the video, you'd have seen this diamond painting on the wall behind me. This diamond painting came from gemsflow. Now, a lot of people who diamond paint use the gemsflow app to keep track of their diamond paintings. I use it all the time. It is free. You can get it on your app store, and you can keep track of all your diamond paintings. You can put when you ordered it, when you received it, who you bought it from, what size it is, if it's round drills, square drills, special drills, if it's full drills or if it's a partial drill diamond painting. You can even put the colours, the DMC codes for it, a lot of different things. And it keeps all the titles in alphabetical order, so you can have the kits that you've received and you haven't started. You can see the one that you're working on at the moment. You can see the ones that you've completed. You can see the ones that you've gifted. It's a really, really cool app. I definitely recommend it, and I know that a lot of diamond painters use it, but I don't know if a lot of people actually use the store. So I decided to buy something from gemsflow just to see how good or bad it was, and I chose this one. I don't think it had a name, but I called it Coffee Owl. It is a 50 by 65, so 50 centimeters across, 65 centimeters down. It's square drill, and it turned out really nice. When I first got it and I was looking at it, I wasn't sure how good it was going to turn out, but it turned out really good. The good thing about it was the drills came in resealable bags, and they were big, good sized bags, and they had a number printed on them, and a big number, so you couldn't mistake like bag number 10. It was a big black print. Very, very easy to work from the bags, and that's what I did with this one. And I actually used this to compare using a pen to using tweezers. I've got a video about that. What I did was I started it with a pen. I was trying to remember if it was square or round. It's square. I actually did a video, I think it was called something like how I start a square drilled diamond painting. So I started it from the very beginning using a pen. So you see me placing the first few drills, and I explain how I do it or why I do it the way I do it. So I had done about half of it, and then I had an idea and I thought maybe I should do some of it with tweezers and see if there's any difference. So what I did was the eyes there, I did them using tweezers. The rest of the diamond painting was done using a pen. And I did the video and compared, a direct comparison, had a light pad behind it. We had a really close look and just moved along, looked at the part with the pen, looked at the part with the tweezers, back to the pen, back to the tweezers, back to the pen, to see if tweezers give you a neater finish. That was the whole point of that idea. So the thing is, when you look at it from any viewing distance, it looks absolutely fine. You're not looking at it thinking, oh, the eyes look better than the rest, or you can't tell. But it is square and it is pretty big. I mean, not as big as the next three, the next three that I'm going to show. But it's a decent size, and I've already got it on the magnetic frame. As I said, you can see it hanging up in the background, and it'll be hanging up again when I finish recording this. So that is Coffee Owl from Gemsflow, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, because now we're getting on to the big diamond paintings that I don't think anybody has seen them this way anyway, finished. So I'll be back again. Okay, so now we are getting into pretty big diamond paintings. Not the biggest, but still pretty big. This one is the diamond painting that got me into using tweezers. The reason for that is there are so many ABs in this one. For people that don't know what an AB drill is, they are drills that have a special coating on them. It reflects different colours depending how the light hits it, and they're used as accents for different things. You'll see this drill suddenly sparkles like a little star, and they work really well. It's a really nice sort of enhancement to the picture. This one is Wonderland from diamonddotz. It is a partial. The sky, where you see the stars and below the moon, that is printed. The rest of it is drills, and they are round drills, but it also has special drills as well, which is a bit unusual to have mainly normal drills and then special. But the lights in the Christmas tree are large special drills that catch the light totally differently. There are a lot of AB drills in this. There are a lot in the snow, so when you walk past you see the snow glisten. Really nice effect. It has them scattered through the wreath beside the snowman. It has gold sort of light, I can see it from this angle, on the bow, and sparkles on the roof of the house, sparkles in the trees, sparkles in the moon, sparkles on the sleigh with the Christmas tree. Really nice diamond painting, really good quality. Enjoyed doing this one. It was the first time I'd done a partial. I wasn't really sure, because in my mind diamond paintings are basically covered in drills, because when you get the area that's printed you don't get any sparkle. But it actually works really well with this picture, because the sky is not part of the main thing. It's the frost and the cold. You get that impression, all these little twinkles and things on pretty much everything, but you don't get it in the sky. So yeah, I think it worked really well. a lot of detail. It's one of these ones, the more you look, the more you start to see the little birds up in the tree and that sort of thing. But yeah, a really nice diamond painting. I started using tweezers because if you are working AB drills with the coating on them, a lot of times that coating will, the wax in your pen will stick to it. And when you place the drill on the glue and lift the pen up, the wax will come out of the pen and is still stuck to the drill. And it can be really annoying. I know that if you use older wax, it tends not to do it. But the other thing was, I was thinking about the pen. The circle of the tip of the pen is metal. And I was thinking, could that scratch the coating? I didn't want to scratch the coating on the ABs. So I started with tweezers. And I had tried tweezers once before. I tried picking up a drill. I finally managed to pick one up and it pinged away and I never saw the drill again. And for a long time I never tried tweezers. But when I got this, I thought, okay, I don't want to ruin the drills and I don't want to be messing about with the pink wax coming out the pen. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to use tweezers. And it's round drills. So this is what I basically cut my teeth on as far as using tweezers. Placing, it was only the ABs I used it for. The ones that aren't ABs, I used the pen. But there are a lot of ABs in this. So by the time I got quite far into it, I was still using the tweezers for ABs and then putting the tweezers down and picking up the pen. And eventually I realised, hang on a minute, it's been ages since I even dropped a drill. So I just started using the normal drills with tweezers as well, and then I just carried on. So it was down to this diamond painting. If I hadn't got this diamond painting, I would still probably be using a pen, and now I use tweezers all the time. So yeah, it's a nice Christmas one. I like it. I like the fact it's got the big special drills as the lights in the tree. It just makes it look really different. Again, you don't get the effect because of the artificial light, but it is very sparkly. It just gives that impression that it's cold and frosty. It works really well. So yeah, I like that one. Now I've got a bit of shuffling to do. You can tell I hadn't thought this through. So I need to move this one. I don't want to keep cutting the video. I don't really like cutting the video, but I've had to change camera angles and stuff quite a bit, so trying to keep it as consistent as possible so you get to see me messing around trying to line things up. But this is the real world, so I'll just take this out of the way, then we'll go for another big one. Now this goes back to a small one that I showed way back at the beginning of the chickens. Don't know if you can remember it. You could see 2 cockerels and maybe a chick. So what I did with that, I'll use my feet. What I did with that was I bought the smallest size I could, and I think this was the second largest one, and I wanted to compare the detail. Now I have to find the small one, but this is from Homecraftology. And it was way back at the beginning somewhere. There it is. So if I move it over a bit, hopefully I can fit this in. Can? Yes. So there we have little and large Homecraftology chickens. Not sure how well this comes up, or how close you can see things, but obviously the one on the left, that was the smallest size I could get. It was 20 by 25. The big one I think was the second biggest, which is 60 by 80. And if you look at them, you can sort of make out a chick or two in the small one. The big one, you can see all the detail. You can see the chicks. You can see that there's actually 5. There's 4 at the front and there's 1 behind the hen. You don't even notice the hen that much in the small one. She's bent down here. And then you've got the flowers. You can see the individual petals on the white flowers to the right. just everything is much sharper. A lot more colour in the big one, which again helps. But the difference is really huge, and that was the reason that I bought them. It was to try and show people who are new, like, just what the difference is, because when you're looking at companies who sell various sizes of a diamond painting, normally, doesn't matter which size you click on, you'll see the original artwork. So if you were totally new, you would think, okay, it's going to look exactly like that, it's just going to be smaller. It doesn't work that way, because the drills are always the same size. So when you make it really small, you can't get the detail. So that was the reason I did this one, to let people see the difference. And the difference, the more you look at it, the difference is huge. Again, not everybody wants a diamond painting this size. I mean, that is a fair size to put up on a wall. But if you go for something a bit smaller, you'll still get more detail than the small one. It's a matter of trying to balance it. You don't have to always go, I mean, going for the biggest is always the most expensive option. It takes a long time. It needs a lot of space for you to work on the canvas. And all of those things can be sort of off-putting for one reason or another. So it's just be aware, if you go for the really small size because it's the cheapest, you might regret it. It depends how much detail is in the picture. The more detail there is, the more you should go up a few sizes. So that was the reason that I got this one, and it happens to be one that fits in with Easter. So that is it. I've got one more, but I need to change the camera angle again, because this one is a vertical one, it's not a horizontal one, and it's another big one. So last but not least, Batman. So this is Batman from Diamond Art Club. It is 70 by 90, so 70 across, 90 down. It is pretty big, and it has a lot of 310. So if you do not like placing black drills, I know a lot of people don't buy Batman. There are about 10,000 310s, something like that, I can't remember, but a lot. Really cool cartoon picture. Every now and again I just see a diamond painting. As soon as I see it, I'm getting it. And this was one, because it reminded me of when I was a kid and I used to sit on a Saturday and I watched Batman every Saturday. Maybe slightly older Batman than this one, but really cool image. I like the fact that they used yellow ABs for the name Batman. Gives it that sort of cheesy bling that reminds me of the old Batman, where when they hit each other you saw a biff pow sock came up on the screen. Really cheesy, but I loved it. So yeah, really cool picture. The fact it has a lot of vertical lines, it works really well with square drills, just those sharp lines, just really cool. The explosions, again, Diamond Art Club's rendering is just so good. They just have the knack of blending colours in, and they are just getting better and better. This is the first Diamond Art Club that I did with the new drills. Diamond Art Club actually manufacture their own drills now. All the other companies buy in from companies in China, but Diamond Art Club actually produce their own drills, which means they have total control over the quality of the drills, and it showed. As soon as I started pouring these drills out, especially the 310, they were so shiny, and they still are. Again, because of the lighting in here, it doesn't show them off, but very sparkly drills, and most noticeable against black, because it's a direct contrast. You've got white with black. Really nice. Yeah, it's just really good. Just Batman poster. As soon as I saw it, I thought, yes, I'm getting that. So I did. And that is pretty much it. So if you have stayed all the way through this video, I very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw some diamond paintings that you maybe haven't seen me do unboxings. I think all of the ones you've seen will be in the channel somewhere. And so far, I won't be doing the rest. I've got one that's bigger than this, but because it is so big, trying to get the camera high enough to get the whole thing in is going to be an absolute nightmare, so I'm not going to do it. That is Sail Away by Randall Spangler, and that is also from Diamond Art Club. That is the widest diamond painting that I have, and I worked on that with my wife. We did sort of half each, working towards the centre, and I've already forgotten how wide it is. I think it's 117 centimetres, something like that, I can't remember. But it's just too awkward to try and get it all in the frame, so I'm not even going to try. So I am currently working on my 55th diamond painting. Today I've shown 25 that have been done, so I've showed about half. But before I go, I want to show another two because I want to talk about something. So I just wanted to touch again on the should you have glass or perspex over your diamond painting or not. The glass and the perspex will definitely stop dust from building up on the drills, and they will definitely stop the drills falling off because they can't go anywhere if the glass is up against them. But as I said, the big downside for me is reflections. Now, I have the lights on that I've had on while I've been recording this video. Already with this one, this is a perspex. It's not glass, it's perspex, this one. You can see the lights above the table. If I turn it to the main light, you can hardly see the diamond painting. And that is what happens if you've got glass or perspex and you happen to have a window in the room that is opposite the picture. So, okay, you could put the diamond painting on a wall the same side as the window if you only have one window. As I said, we have quite a few windows in this room, and finding a place where you don't get a reflection is difficult and not necessarily where you would ideally want to hang the picture. The other thing is, at night, you switch lights on, like these ones above, and again you see the reflection. So it isn't just the windows that are a problem, it's any kind of light. So this is what you could be looking at during the daytime. You're trying to see your diamond painting, or anybody else is trying to see your diamond painting. The other thing is reflection. So you're trying to take a picture and all you can see is your phone, or you standing there taking a picture. If that did not have, in fact, I'll just reach over as an example. I'll pick up Divina the Dragon. So here is Divina the Dragon. You'll get reflection here because there are no drills. But apart from that, if I wave my hand, you can't see it. But if I've got perspex, and I'll just tilt this at the same angle so I'm not cheating. You maybe get a shadow, but it doesn't, you don't get a reflection. If I was taking a picture of that, I wouldn't have any distracting lights on it. If I took a picture of this just now, I would have two dots either side of the turtle's eye. So after putting one up and hanging it for a long time, I think it was 3 months, at least 3 months, and then looking at it and thinking it still shines, I thought, that's it, I'm not going to use perspex and glass. Again, it's a personal decision, obviously. We don't have cats or dogs, which might make a difference. You might have like fine cat or dog hairs floating about and they might stick and then you notice them. But would you notice them? I don't know. you could always get tweezers and pick them off if you could see them. But it's just, I thought it was worth mentioning, because when you start buying frames with glass, they're quite expensive as well. So you're spending money, and then you're hanging your picture up and you're looking at this sort of thing, or you could be. So if you do go for glass perspex, just be aware of where you're thinking about hanging the picture. Are you going to have reflections from windows? Are you going to have reflections from lights, ceiling lamps, floor lamps, candles, anything? And if you are, do you really want to sit and look at that? So again, just something to think about. So you can see my hand there, the reflection. When you're taking a picture, you see my hand, you can see the camera, you can see fingers and cameras, and you'll see windows in the background and that sort of thing. It is really frustrating trying to take a picture of a diamond painting on the wall that has glass on it and there's some kind of reflection going on, because you've got to try and take pictures from weird angles so you're not in the picture and that sort of thing. And I just really don't like it, so that's why, I mean, you can see all these reflections. Whereas if we do the one with no glass, you can't see anything. So I just thought it was something worth mentioning to people who are new and maybe just haven't thought about it. I didn't think about it. So yeah, that is it. So again, if you have watched this video all the way through, you are an addict and welcome. But yeah, I finally did it, people. The people who have been saying, show us a video of them done. So that's about half of them. I do have a lot that I did way back that are in frames, and I won't do a video like this because of that, because you'll just be looking at reflections and it's pretty much pointless. So that's it. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more unboxings, unbaggings, comparisons, accessories, anything to do with diamond painting, please subscribe and hit the notification button. If you do that, you may catch me live on YouTube Live. I do random lives where I come on, work on the project I'm working on at that time, which at the moment happens to be koi fish, and just spend a bit of time chatting to people who drop in. Most of them are diamond painters. Sometimes people just drop in randomly and they don't know what diamond painting is, so maybe they would get interested. But I enjoy talking to people around the world and just getting to know them a little bit. It's all fun, that's the whole point. So that is it for today. If you enjoyed the video, as I said, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and you will catch any new videos that come up as well. And I do have quite a few things to unbox, unbag, test, that sort of thing. So in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.